Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where we will be hearing from TalkTalk's AP Manager, Michelle Florence, and how she was able to dramatically increase supplier statement reconciliations and the positive impact that that had on the business. In a lot of accounts payable departments, matching supplier statements is often the least favorite task, mostly because it's a manual, fairly laborious and time-consuming process. And because the process is often manual, not enough reconciliations are completed, which can lead to inaccurate supplier balances with a negative impact on cash from missed credits and incorrect postings, for example. So this morning we'll be hearing from two people who can help you to see that there's an alternative to that. Michelle Florence from TalkTalk, as I just mentioned, and also Mike Sutton of statementmatching.com. Okay, so before I hand you over to Michelle, let me just tell you a little bit about your presenters today. I'm Ellen Leith and I'm the editor of PPN, and as most of you all know, I run the PPN site with the aim of offering purchase-to-pay professionals a forum where you can find out about new industry news and research, as well as ways to overcome some of the challenges and issues facing your departments. We'll also be hearing from Michelle Florence, who has worked at TalkTalk for more than 9 years and has been heavily involved in the P2P process and managing the AP function from end to end. We'll also be hearing from Mike Sutton, who's been delivering process improvements and automation projects for several years and has extensive knowledge of the accounts payable process. Right, so just before we begin, here's a quick look at the agenda for what we'll be discussing today. Michelle will give you a brief overview of TalkTalk and how the department is configured before going through some of their journey and their business objectives in automating the supplier statement reconciliation process. Then Mike Sutton is going to talk a little bit about the statementmatching.com solution, and I hope you'll be able to gain some really useful information from them both this morning. Okay, so just before I hand you over to Michelle, you are able to direct any questions to either Michelle or Mike by adding them into the free text box in your GoToWebinar panel, and that's just over on the right-hand side of your screen. If you type those in, I can ask either of them to answer any of those questions at the end of this morning's session. Okay, so just at that point, hand you over to Michelle.
Hi everybody, and thank you all for joining today to listen to my case study of how TalkTalk have implemented statement matching into the organisation and increased supplier statement reconciliations by 300%. So, an introduction to TalkTalk then. TalkTalk Telecom Group is a company which provides television, telephones, internet access and mobile networks to businesses and consumers throughout the UK. It was founded in 2003 and was a subsidiary of Carphone Warehouse. It was demerged then as a standalone company in March 2010, and the headquarters are in London. We do have other offices based throughout the UK, in Warrington, which is where I'm based, Earlham and London. We're soon to be merging the Warrington and Earlham offices into one office at Salford Quays in Manchester. We operate the business as 3 main business units. We have a technology function, a business function and a consumer function. So this is just an overview then of the products and services that we offer that I've just spoken about on the first slide. In the top right-hand section, this is a product that the business side of our organisation offer, which can be implemented into Office Solutions. As you're probably all aware as well, we are currently sponsoring the X Factor. Okay, so an overview then into the Shared Service Centre. Within the Shared Service Centre, we split the focus of the business units that I've just spoken about, and we feed into the relevant business unit finance directors the results for each business unit. So we are responsible for creating and preparing the group accounts, monthly reporting, and we also provide key support to stakeholders in the wider business. AP also fall into this department and link in the accruals and any P&L discrepancies. So the key steps for AP then. We're an AP help desk and we respond to calls and emails received into the business from external suppliers and also internal business stakeholders. Our supplier base is around 2,500 supplier accounts. Only 1,000 of those are active at the moment. Our finance system is Microsoft Dynamics, and we're currently on the 2012 version of this software. The invoices that we process annually are around 30,000, and we process this number of invoices for all of the business units. Our team size is 4 clerks plus a manager. So, the role of AP then. Our main responsibilities are processing invoices and credit notes to ensure timely payments to suppliers, reconciling all active supplier accounts once within a 12-month period, ensuring the accurate receipting of POs to allow a three-way match to happen, and dealing with supplier queries and internal queries from our stakeholders. AP manage the supplier relations for the whole of the TalkTalk group, and we've undergone a massive amount of change through delivering automation efficiencies, giving us slicker control and slicker processes. During the time when we looked at statement matching as a solution, we also undergone the change of automating our invoice processing through OCR technology, and this has helped us to improve accuracy to our data entry. So our challenge then that we faced when we decided to implement statement matching. We had an increased demand from audit to reconcile more suppliers, and the actual audit requirement was for us to reconcile any active supplier account once within a 12-month period. We also had an issue where our cash forecasting was inaccurate, missing invoices and credit notes, any currency mispostings, and just the lack of supplier statement reconciliations was causing a bit of a headache. We also needed to improve control and visibility of the AP processes. So we wanted to have a more proactive approach from the team when managing supplier relations, and we needed to feel more in control of these processes. We also didn't have any reporting which shown what had been done, and our old process of reconciling statements was on an Excel-based solution. We needed to achieve all of the above with no headcount increase, so that was our main drivers into finding an automated solution. So, how did we meet the challenge? We created a project to automate statement reconciliations to ensure that all invoices and credits have been processed and received within the month of being raised. We were also able to then identify incorrect postings, currency mispostings, incorrect suppliers used, and any data entry errors. Reporting we needed in order to prioritise our exceptions and improve performance through KPIs. We needed the reporting as well for audit compliance, and we wanted to enable AP to focus on value-added tasks. We needed time efficiencies in both the reconciling of statements and also the approval of statement reconciliations. So, why did we choose statementmatching.com? It's a cloud-based solution, so minimal involvement from IT is required. We simply just upload our files into statement matching each morning, and it's a really, really easy process for us to do. It's compliant with TalkTalk data security standards, and it automates the reconciliation regardless of the statement format. So statementmatching.com accepts many different formats of statements, from Excel through to PDF through to TIFF. It enables AP to focus on the exceptions, so any errors that come up on those statement reconciliations, it allows us that time to focus on those. It automatically updates reports in sync with the ledger changes. So as soon as we upload the information through to statement matching, and that's processed through their system, we do then have a live version of all of the supplier statements and supplier ledgers. It allows us then to communicate with suppliers and request copy invoices via the portal, and also we can provide invoice statuses as well. And we can send emails out from the portal, which allows us then not to have to spend time messing about in Outlook trying to get those requests through. It also gives us comprehensive audit reports to meet our objectives. Statementmatching.com designed an audit report to give TalkTalk full visibility of all invoice statuses, all exceptions, and also allowed us to update our notes within that, which just makes our year end 1,000 times easier. We were actually able this year to print off the versions of statement matchings reconciliations and provide those to our external auditors, and they were really, really happy with the format. So, the results. It's instant access to a true picture of the supplier accounts at any given time. Old versions of statements are never lost either. It's important that obviously I highlight that to you, because you often find when you're doing an Excel statement reconciliation that somebody might save that down on their home drive and not give you a clear visibility as to where it's saved. And when people leave or move on within the organisation, you can't actually get access to old reconciliations. On this solution, you can. It was a really, really fast and easy implementation, and statement matching were always on hand to support us. So the second point here then, around the improvement of number of statements reconciled. When we were asked to do this presentation and give this case study to you, we were only at 300% improvement. That has now increased to 500%. We were only able to reconcile around 50 statements a month prior to this solution, and now we're actually managing to achieve closer to 250 a month. We've also improved our cash flow forecasting accuracy, and Treasury are now able to see the supplier statement reconciliations and have access to the live version, and our top 50 or top 60 suppliers actually help forecasting their cash. We give an improved service to suppliers, and we have seen reduced AP queries from this. So our proactive approach to managing the supplier relationships and the internal stakeholders has meant that we have seen an improvement to the service given. So the additional benefits then, we've now got more accuracy on our ledger. We're seeing fewer requests to amend documents or have to raise dummy credits, etc. there just seems to be more accuracy. We've got a happier workforce on this new solution. It's no longer a dreaded task of going into Excel and hoping that you've got the formula right to get this working. Our team now are actually happy on the solution. You know, the proactively reconciling supplier reconciliations, and I don't have to constantly remind them to go in. We've got better visibility in driving continuous improvements. So we've already identified some training requirements within the business, whereby we will improve our first-time match rate. So what's next then for TalkTalk KP department? So we've got continuous improvements to all existing processes. We're actually hoping to drive a no PO, no pay policy later on this year to give us better visibility. We're going to statement matching help in this during this transition, just to make sure that any invoices that we do reject when we go live with this no PO, no pay are actually accurate on the supplier statement reconciliations to make sure that we're not missing anything. We also need really to minimise the number of active supplier accounts and actually get some control over the spend and reduce the number of active accounts. 1,000 active accounts is quite a high number of accounts for us to reconcile each year. So we've also got the potential rollout of the supplier portal functionality, and this is included with the latest version of statementmatching.com. So we're looking to trial this with a few of our key stakeholders and key suppliers, and hopefully that we will see a reduced volume of calls and queries coming through to the help desk. We're also looking to evaluate duplicatematching.com, which is a sideline to what statementmatching.com actually gives to us, to improve our duplicate identification and prevention, and then also any recovery of any duplicates that we've processed. And also, we need to make sure that we keep feeding back our suggestions to statementmatching.com and any vendors who listen and more importantly act on them. So we do have a monthly call set up with statementmatching.com where we go through any key points that have happened throughout the month, and this is a really good way of making sure that we stay current and we know about all the different new updates that they've got coming, anything new that they're adding to the portal also gets highlighted to us in these meetings. And it's a really good good two-way communication. So that tells you then about our case study of how we've implemented statement matching into TalkTalk. I'm now going to hand you over to Mike Sutton from Statement Matching.
Hello everyone, my name's Mike from statementmatching.com. I hope you're all very well, and I want to thank Michelle for taking the time to speak to you regarding our application. Okay, so I'm going to use the end of the webinar to give you a sneak peek at the application. If anyone would like to see a live demonstration or discuss the free trial, just feel free to email me, and then this will actually appear at the end of the presentation as well. Okay, so what I want to talk about now, I know Michelle's given you a slight overview of the business benefits from TalkTalk's point of view. I'd like to talk about how the application operates, how we get the data into the application from your ERP system, and how we get statements into the application, and then what you see and the results of that. So I have screenshots of the system from a user perspective, but again, if anyone would like to see the live demonstration of the system, just contact me with details at the end. So Michelle stated, to get you started, we need data from your ERP system. With all customers, a report will run on a nightly job, and we'll get these files sent to us automatically. So no one in finance needs to get these files sent to us. We just receive them as a nightly job. From our side, the data is imported into statementmatching.com, and our system will reflect your ledger up to the previous day, which is good enough from a reconciliation point of view. So there are two ways that we can actually get the statements into the application. Accounts payable can import these directly. There's an import function on the website. All you need to do is map out the columns, import, and you can look at those results instantly. You can also give suppliers the ability to do this themselves through the portal. You can communicate with the vendors through the portal that way as well, but they can upload the Excel statements the exact same way. As Michelle mentioned, we can upload paper, PDF, and TIFF image onto the application as well, and we'll basically provide a managed service on this. The way that we normally do this is we will get you set up with an email address, which would normally be your organization at statementmatching.com. Now we extract the data from the statement, and then that'll be on a system reconciled within 24 hours, which we're contractually obligated to do. And when I say reconciled, the tool compares what's on the supplier statement to the data that you have on your ledger. Okay, and they'll be given one of four statuses, depending on how well they've matched up. The statement data has managed to match up with your ERP data, and I'll show you what they look like on another page. As a user, you can use this tool to prioritize the exceptions. The whole point of the application is that the tool will automatically reconcile all matched lines and all matched statements, which will then pick out the exceptions for you to look at, which is a good time saver. You're not going to be too interested in looking at fully matched statements. You're going to be looking at the significant exceptions. So the application can show you any missing credit notes, which again I should give you as an example, which we can look at a couple of pages. And you can communicate all results, matched or unmatched, to your suppliers. So for example, if you wanted to show the vendor all of the match lines or anything that's missing, the status of the document, if something's been paid, then you can actually share the payment reference number on a PDF, which you could send through to the vendor, again, which is an example which I'll take you through on the next page. So basically, the point of the application is that you can give suppliers all of the information that they regularly ring you up for, which will cut down on all telephone calls. And again, you can do that by sending them PDFs through the application, which I'll show you as an example, and through the portal, which we have created as well. So if we go on to the next page now, I'll give you an overview of what the actual application looks like. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you log into statementmatching.com. It's a cloud-based application, so you can just log in through your browser. And this is what you'll see. This is the dashboard that every single customer will have, along with your logos in the top left-hand corner. And we can see a series of reports which are very, very popular with our current customers. So I just want to draw your attention to the dollar sign in the top left-hand corner. This is the missing credit report, and this will give you a total value of missing credits against all statements. If you drill down, it will give me all of the statements with missing credit notes on. You can go into this and search and request missing credit notes. So it's a nice simple place to have all of that information. You click on the view report and it'll give you all the statements that you have with missing credit notes, which you can log into. The second report which I'd like to draw your attention to is the left of the 70% semicircle. Now these are the top vendor reports, so if you've got a target to look at, a number of top vendors that you need to reconcile on a month-by-month basis, you can see I've got mine set at 20. You can set this at whatever you like. So you can use this to make sure that you're hitting your SLAs, and again it's in a nice simple place that you can see a live statistic up until yesterday where you are reconciling your top vendors. If you go to the right of the page, we've got the statement headers and the statement lines. The statement lines, every single line on any statement on the application is given a status. In the top right-hand corner, there are 4 different statement headers which will be given to a statement depending on how well it's matched up with the data on your system. So the top one would be fully matched, which is pretty self-explanatory. You won't want to spend too much time looking at those. That means that the application has fully reconciled every single line of that statement against the data. The next one down, fully matched with data mismatches. This means that all of the information has managed to marry up with all of the information on your ERP system, but there might be something, it's pretty sure that it's found the line, but it just wants to draw your attention that one of the headers may have been entered incorrectly on your ERP system. Next one down, unpaid items missing on a statement. This means that we've got something that we think we owe the vendor. Now, if we all know vendors like we think we do, that they'll be contacting you as soon as payment has not been made. But this predates any of the newest information that we've got from this vendor, and it's unable to match the invoice. The odds are this one will be a misposting or a duplicate. And the last one will be incomplete matching, which means that we need to contact the vendor through the application. I'll give you an example of that as we push on now. This is the screen that you'll predominantly be using from an accounts payable perspective, and there's a number of different things that different ways that you can search for vendor and statements information on here. So you can search for a vendor by name, and then you can edit out particular statements that you're looking for via entry date, etc. And if you look on the left-hand side under document statuses, you can click and unclick the type of statements that you're looking for. If we go on to the next page here, this is what you'll see every time that you want to search all of your live statements. Now, Michelle said we do actually archive all of the information. You will always see the newest information from your vendors, but we do archive that information. So on a previous page, if you wanted to bring statements from a certain date or document number, etc., invoice number, you can always bring those forward anytime you wish. But we can see here who the live statements are, who they're from, supplier number. They've all been given a document status, which you can see on the left. And again, if anyone wants to see these in more detail, just contact me with the details at the end. But I'm going to look at one example here, which is incomplete matching, and I'm going to show you what the statement predominantly looks like on the application. So if we log into it, there's a standardized view here. Every time you open up a statement on statementmatching.com, you'll have the supplier information, the statement on the left, and you'll have the invoice from the ERP system on the right. As you can see, if we take the top line out of the equation, it's automatically reconciled the rest of the lines. There's some buttons at the top here. If we go to download, there's a number of things that we can look at here. The audit report that Michelle was talking about, you can automatically download that through there as well. You can bring forward the original copy of the image as well, because although we've laid it out in this format, the original copy of the statement is held behind this data. You can export anything to Excel as well. But what we can see on this particular example is that we've got nothing to match against, and we need to claim this credit back, and you can do that through the application as well. So we can just want to highlight this line here. We can see that we've got nothing to match against. The application is telling us that it's missing, and we're missing a credit note. So what you can simply do through the application is contact the vendor. So if we look at the email button here, we just click email vendor. It will automatically populate who the email is being sent from. So it can be a shared email address, or it can be an individual email address. We'd like to take the information at the beginning in regards to vendors who we're going to be dealing with predominantly. So we can automatically plumb in the information here just to save you copying and pasting from somewhere else on the system. You can populate this as a normal email, and then what the vendor will receive is a PDF version of what we've just been looking at here. So we can see that that will be your information on the right-hand side, that will be your vendor's information on the left-hand side, and then that will be your logo as well in the top left-hand corner, so there's no confusion who it's coming from. So if we look at the data that's been sent over, we can see that each individual line will be given a status from where it's up to in regards to payment. So we can see that taking up the top one of the equation, that these ones here, pay the due date has been created because it's been posted for payment. And once something has been paid, a reference number or a check-in number can be created, so it can be reconciled at the other end. We can see here that the application's automatically inserted the text of a copy of an invoice is required. Again, so there's nothing for you to put in there. The application will tell them exactly what it is that you require. The original copy of the statement will follow with this as well. Just want to draw your attention to the box here on the left-hand side, the blue box. So from an accounts payable perspective, you can make notes which are for your eyes only. So if there's been a problem with this, and you can see how long it's been going on for. So accounts payable can make notes against any individual line on a statement, and this will be saved chronologically. So that's just for your eyes only. If someone leaves the business or if someone is off sick, then you can actually keep this information here. Okay, so we do offer this on a 4-week free trial. Rather than someone phoning you up and trying to tell you about it, we do encourage customers to look at the live demonstration of the application, and then we do actually give it to people to use it as a proof of concept, and it's a very, very simple way of doing that. So if with minimal IT and AP buy-in, you can trial this and run it alongside your current process. So my email address is there. If anyone's interested in finding out a bit more information, then just feel free to contact me directly, and then we can set up arrangements to look at the application through a live webinar, and obviously talk a bit more detail about the proof of concept. So we welcome any questions, and I'm going to hand you back over to Ellen now, who will take you through the question process.
Thanks very much, Mike, and also to Michelle. It's been a very informative webinar, and I'm sure people have got a lot of good information out of it. We have had a question from somebody who'd like to know how well your solution integrates into existing systems, and I guess that's the question first of all for you, Mike.
Yes. Well, the application will work with any system out there, and any ERP system, even multi-systems out there. So there's no problems with that. For the proof of concept initially, we can just receive very limited data just to get you using and seeing the statement data and your ledger data in front of your own eyes for a month. And after that, we've got some very simple data requirements. So the ERP system is irrelevant, and it will work in conjunction with any.
Okay, great, thank you. And another one, which I think is for you, Michelle, from someone who wants to know how quickly it was from the implementation of the solution that you were able to see some positive results.
I'd say that it took us time to actually contact the suppliers to make sure that they were actually supplying the statements for us to reconcile. I think in order for us to get the positive results, it probably took over the month, so over the month free trial, and then into the next month before we actually saw any improvements.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. And another one for you. Someone wanted to know what kind of engagement with the solution the suppliers have. Is it something that they have to sign up to?
It isn't, no. It's as Mike's just gone through there, the portal functionality is available, but at the moment we haven't signed any of our suppliers up to that yet.
Okay, and I think this is a question that you may have answered at the beginning of the webinar. Someone wanted to know how many staff you have on your AP team.
We've got 4 AP clerks and me as the AP manager.
Okay, all right. And the percentage of invoices that are POs? Is that the information that you have?
Yeah, I'd say that there is approximately 80% of our invoice processing is done through PO.
Okay, all right. Now we have had a number of other questions which I think we'll take offline and answer them directly. We have had quite a few questions coming in, so I think it's probably best if we do that. We have had also quite a few questions asking about the slides, and yes, those will be available afterwards, as will be the recording, which will be sent out to you, so you can go through the webinar again at your leisure. But right now, if you have any other questions, of course, just let me know, and we can get those answers back to you. You just email me. So thanks once again to Michelle and also to Mike. Thanks so much for a great webinar, and thanks so much to everybody for attending. Do keep a lookout for the next PPN webinar, which is going to be on the 20th of October, and we'll be hearing from Andrew Newman of Network Rail, and I do hope you're able to attend that one. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your sunny day, and thanks very much for attending. Thank you.